All right, let's see. No, not here.
Just edit that part out.
Right. Oh man, that sounds perfect. I love when I do that. Let me ask you a question. Why don't we have zebras? Why don't we ride zebras?
Actually, I was going to ask you, why don't you screenshot the perfect settings for the sound so you don't have to play with it next time?
Wow, Ted's tips for 20s right there.
That's great. Actually, it's a very specific tip for one specific person, so I don't think it applies to everybody.
No, it's here. I will tell you why. Because
Be prepared.
It's literally this stupid cord. If I put it in, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so Jack, no, this is funny. We're setting this up, right? We're setting everything up. And Jack says to me, he goes, why don't you just get another cord?
Oh.
Are you sure we're talking about a cord?
Yes. No, literally, I plug this thing in and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I never thought to just spend $8 and get another cord.
What if it's the port that it's plugged into is bad?
Well, it can't be. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And the cord is way cheaper. Hey, can I have one of those?
Seems like maybe a metaphor for something else. I think Jen's onto something here.
That's
Sometimes
so
it
uncool.
works, sometimes it doesn't.
They have. Oh, so you're saying leave the cord, buy pills? Okay, I got that. No, listen, I understand that. That actually makes perfect sense to me.
Diet and exercise, pills.
I think just go with pills, right? Isn't that what everybody does? I mean, doesn't everybody, instead of like doing anything about it, they just go to the store and somebody gives them some pills to fix it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, isn't that like that's kind of like a weird thing that everybody does.
Oh, I got a story about that later if you remind me.
Why don't you tell it right now?
So I was watching an episode on YouTube years ago where this guy, he was like overweight and he had like a lot of autoimmune disease, so he basically juiced for 60 days. He never said how much he took per day, but it was like the kale and
You mean
the
like
spinach.
steroids juicing?
No, just like he had a juicer. He just drank. That was his full-time meal every day for 60 days. And he did, when this was without exercising, he actually lost a lot of weight. Like the glow came back to his face. He stopped taking about half his medications just on that. So he basically, his analogy was, if you can heal your body on the outside, like let's say you have a wound on your knee, you put a Band-Aid on it, why can't you heal your body from the inside? And he did.
Dude, that is so deep. I feel like that is so apropos for the show today. Like that literally fixed. That literally works.
Or you could have a Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's at 2 a.m. and see where that gets you.
Either or, just see where it takes you.
After a heavy night of drinking, of course. Which
Yeah,
of course
I was just going to say,
like
I mean,
the 1-2 punch.
Does anybody, I feel like if you go to Denny's, you go between like 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., you're sober. If you go at any other time of the day, you are drunk. I mean, everybody knows it, right?
Or Waffle House.
Yeah. Oh, man. So here's a funny Waffle House story, okay? So we are in, I want to say somewhere maybe in like Georgia, okay? So we go to the Waffle House. We're stewed, okay? And I go with my brother-in-law, and there's 4 of us, and we go to the Waffle House, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's the greatest meal I've ever had in my life. Literally the greatest thing. And I'm watching him cook it, and I'm like, that guy is such a great chef, man. I use the word chef, right? Because there's no chefs at a Waffle House.
Best experience you've ever had.
Yeah, so I'm eating and everything's great, right? So we go home, and then that morning, everybody wants to go out to breakfast, right? So it's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they want to go to breakfast. And of course, I yell, let's go to Waffle House. I just had the greatest meal of my life there. And we walk in, and that Waffle House changed completely. It was dirty and gross.
So dirty.
It was. And the food was horrible. And I was just thinking, different Waffle House. I must have went to the wrong one. Yeah.
Beer goggles.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so weird. And I ordered the same thing. I walked in, I was like, wait a minute. This place has a weird smell. It's like somebody was in here eating and farting last night. Yeah.
Well, what's the expression? You can't chase a good time, right? You chased it, and it got away, and it was gone.
You know what? So my brother-in-law is going to be on. Steve's going to be on next week, right?
Yep.
And
Cool.
he can tell you a fun story about chasing a good time.
I'd love to
we
hear it.
cannot do that.
Okay.
We can't. It was terrible. Yeah. We tried to chase a good time, and we could not chase a good time.
Yep.
So yeah, I absolutely agree. All right, I think we can get this thing started because we've got stuff we got to do. And man, I tell you what, I like doing this live. This is kind of cool. It makes me feel really weird, man.
It is cool.
Yeah, even though my basement feels safe, and it's my fun toilet that I can go to, and
So
close the door.
you're not in a safe space anymore, is what you're saying?
Wait, you record your podcast on the toilet?
No, not all the time.
I think you just write your notes. You just write your notes on the toilet.
This is a huge step up.
Boundaries.
Listen, if there's anybody in this room that I have ever talked to on the phone, I have probably talked to you on the toilet. It's just to be 100% honest with you, just so you know.
Is that like the Seinfeld episode where Kramer bathes and he's making the vegetables in the
His
tub?
salad. It's a salad.
And he goes, I made this while I bathe, and the woman goes, oh.
Dude, that is so gross. Okay, let's get this, what is it, flaming bag of turds started?
Yeah, sure.
I love that. Okay. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Real 3 Idiots podcast. Once again, live from 1090 Brewery in Glenview, Illinois. Oh, man, that is such, I tell you what, that is a rush. That is such a rush. I got goosebumps and I peed a little. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. With me, as always, is the bubbly and vivacious Teddy.
It's good to be back to 1090 Brewing Company in Glenview, and I look forward to this episode. I just did that on purpose because you said bubbly, so I wanted to do the opposite of bubbly, which is, and it's, nobody laughed, but of course, at the irony of that. But no, it's great to be back, and I look forward to staying awake for the next 49 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
While you blather on about God knows what.
So listen, so Teddy wants us to
so
have...
supportive.
No, Teddy wants us to have a 1-hour show because he has a softball game. He has a softball game and he wants to go to a
Yeah,
softball
I'm
game.
the least important person on the team, but they still need me.
For support.
Hold on. My son plays on the team and he's in the back there and I can see him shaking his head no. Yeah, you're the least important player
Well,
on
you
the
know what
team.
he needs? He needs the bat that I have in my car is what he really needs.
I feel like any bat would be... the trade-off of you not being there would be a good one. It would be a good trade-off. All right. And along with us today is my lovely sister, Jackie.
Oh, I get lovely a second time.
Yeah.
Wait, did I do that? Did I do that before?
Yes, when you were trying to get me to vote for your
Oh, yeah.
story.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Oh, you know what? Listen, you can hear in the background, there's some crime in Glenview.
Right.
Yeah, nobody knew that, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's horrible fire. It's okay. It's totally cool. Okay, so I need to let everybody know that John is no longer going to be on the show, okay? It came as a big blow to Teddy and I, but after we talked with John, it became pretty clear why he left. So just to give you a quick rundown, really quick, about a year ago, I started toying with the idea of doing this podcast, right? Teddy, you and I and Stan actually sat in a bar, right? And we said, I said, hey, man, we could do this, and I think people would enjoy it, right? They'd enjoy listening.
Well, we said we enjoyed it, and then
Well, but you know what the funny thing is? Every time we enjoyed it, we were super drunk, and then I would say, hey, man, what did we say? And Ted would just do this, when? And I'd be like, yesterday in the bar, and he's like, I did not go out with you guys yesterday. I'm like, oh, man, this podcast is going to be awesome. That's all I thought about, okay? So I did some research. I put some ideas together, and bammo, the Real 3 Idiots was born, right? And you know that we had Stan. For those of you who know, we had Stan as our first idiot, and then he was unfortunately had to leave. Don't say anything, okay? But my dream was realized. I mean, this is pretty cool, okay? And about halfway through this, we added Johnny, and he was awesome. And about a week ago, Johnny mentioned he had a dream too, and the show kind of inspired him, which I thought was pretty neat, right? And I'm really excited and sad to say that John is he's following his dream. And let me do this real fast. I'm going to give him a call, and let's see if this works. I'm kind of excited about this. Oh.
first, I hear a phone ringing.
Yes.
I've never heard a phone ring before.
Did you?
On this show.
Oh, on this show.
I was like, how'd you know what it was?
That was in the audience.
Hello.
Johnny!
What's going on?
All right, man. Hey, where are you right now, and what are you doing?
I am in Alaska right now.
What? No way, man. That is super cool. Okay, so my sister is sitting in for you right now, okay? So tell us, what are you doing, and why are you in Alaska?
Right after the show last Tuesday, I got on a plane, and now 9 hours later, I was here at the gates of the Arctic National Park Reserve, just kind of following my dream.
Wow, holy shit, that is crazy.
That really is.
So we finished up here last Tuesday, and so I know you kind of like stuck around, you kind of bolted out, and then you are doing that, man. So what are you doing in Alaska right now?
I know it's going to be hard to believe, but I'm a fire watcher.
You're a fire watcher. Oh, wow,
Yep.
I did not know you were into that.
Well, I didn't either, Well, I kind of remembered, I kind of forgot, but when I was in high school, you fill out those aptitude tests, and they tell you, you're a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. Probably can't say that anymore, but
Wait a minute.
yeah, they always.
You're a Washington commander.
Hold on a second. In high school, there were people who took aptitude tests, and some of them got Indian chief. I feel like that was really bad aptitude test.
Yeah, I know, right? They could get away with it back then. You can't do that anymore.
Okay, and your aptitude
Yeah,
test
so-
was you're a fire watcher.
Fire watcher, yeah.
Yeah,
I really never
my
gave
brother,
much
my
thought,
brother
you
filled
know?
out one of those.
And then recently, basically the world's on fire, as we know. I'm like, wait, you know what? Let's make this a career.
Wow. So you pulled up and you left.
Exactly.
That is crazy, man. That's so Teddy. So once Teddy found out you were in Alaska, he had a question for you. So Teddy, what is your question for John?
Are there any cabarets out there, or as you might know them as strip bars, in Juneau? What part of Alaska are you in, by the way? Are you in like the wilderness, like near bear country?
I didn't quite get that.
Are you in bear country?
Teddy wants to know if there's
Yukon?
strip clubs in Alaska.
Well, we know that. I'm talking about a cabaret, like
Yeah, no, I think it's a little too
Like Liza
cold
Minnelli.
for the women to be taking their clothes off. Frostbite is a real concern out here.
Okay, no.
I was assuming it's an enclosed.
I would,
area.
yeah, no. I would imagine that if a woman stripped, that she would be. It would. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so cool. Have you seen any fires yet?
I have not seen any fires yet, so I'm a little disappointed there. But I have seen Sarah Palin a lot. She's always out there wandering around, talking to animals, that kind of thing.
Okay, listen. I have some advice. Stay away from her. I heard she is very dangerous when she's cornered.
Like a badger.
I definitely will stay away from her. I think that's good advice.
Yeah, she's scary to me. Okay, listen, man, I want to tell you that we loved having you on the show, and we're gonna miss the heck out of you, man.
I'll miss you guys too.
Wow, that seems so genuine, John. Thanks.
He's just done.
Listen, man, would you mind if we checked in on you every once in a while to see what's happening?
Absolutely, I would love to do that.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Okay, cool. And Ted says he thinks about you when he's sober enough to remember who you are.
That's
I
nice.
vaguely
Tell
recall the
Ted that he should pursue his dreams.
Ted, you listen, John.
I want to be an astronaut.
No, Ted pursuing his dreams would be a terrible idea. Millions of people would die, and the world would be thrown into chaos. Yeah, terrible idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, fellas, I gotta go. Whoa, there's some weird bright light. What the? Holy crap! What the fuck?
What? John?
Uh-oh.
Wow. Okay, he's gone. I have no idea.
You lost him.
Yeah, I don't know what a weird bright light is, man. That's pretty crazy. All right.
Spiritual awakening, maybe.
Ooh.
Whoa. Yeah, if he's out there by himself, I mean, he's a fire watcher. I mean, isn't there like snow in the Arctic most of the time? All right, Teddy. So I guess once again we are in search of a third idiot. And do you kind of get the feeling we're running people off?
No, I think it's them and not us, to be honest with you.
I would agree with you 100%. I agree. It is them.
They're the problem.
Yes, I agree. It is them and not us. Okay, but here's the good news. Even though Johnny is gone, we have a fantastic guest today, Jen Rose. Jen, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here back up in Glenview, my hometown, and with all of you.
That is really weird. So when I called Jen and I was talking to her, I told her we do the show live, and then she's just like, oh yeah, you know what? Should we do the show live in Glenview? And she's like, I grew up in Glenview. I'm like, no, that is so weird to me, man.
Meant to be.
I know. When I called the gun guy, he literally lived like 2 minutes from my house. Yeah, it was so funny because Peter's just like, okay, listen, if you want me there at 6, I'll leave at 5:58 and I'll be there at 6. And I'm just like,
So the big takeaway, there's a lot of local talent in the area that we can mine.
Yep.
speaking of talent, Jen is a mindset. She does mindset wellness coaching. Is that correct? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, I've transitioned a little into the holistic life space as well. But yes, mindset is the core of what I do, and I love wellness, and I've been doing it for a long time and could geek out about that forever.
Well, okay, we've got 1 hour and 6 minutes, so you can fill that. I mean, that'd be awesome. Okay, so before I forget, you can find Jen at thejenrose.com. That's TheJenrose.com. Okay, and Jen, have you ever been on any podcast before?
I actually have. I love doing podcasts. I think this is like my 5th, maybe.
Oh, man.
So fun.
Your 5th and your favorite. Okay.
My 5th and my favorite, to be determined.
The only thing they have in common is they begin with the letter F. It's like having the same birthday.
What?
It's a talking point.
Wait a minute. When's your birthday?
When's yours?
No.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
Yes, green.
That is the worst. Oh, man, that is the worst. Okay, Jen, do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
Yeah, on occasion, usually when I'm walking my dog.
Okay, no, that makes sense. That's kind of, I kind of do it when I'm doing something else, right? Like I was listening to last week's show today when I was working out, and it was kind of funny because I'm laughing. I'm in a room full of people, right? And I'm laughing as I'm working out, and people are looking at me. I'm a crazy person who's all by himself laughing.
Yeah, you look insane.
Yeah, absolutely more insane when I'm laughing. Yeah, it's.
I was reading Marley and Me while I was working out at one point. I was on like the elliptical and literally bawling my eyes out because the dog dies. I'm crying. I'm at the gym and people probably think I'm insane.
You didn't say spoiler alert, so people could take their headphones out of their heads.
Wait, I actually have a funny story about a spoiler alert. One time my mom, who's actually here, she took me to see Sleeping with the Enemy when I was a kid. I don't know how old I was. And we're walking out of the theater.
I remember that movie.
And there's a line for the people that are going to go into the theater next to watch it. And I'm talking to her on the way out. And I'm like, Mom, can you believe da-da-da-da-da? Like everybody in line who was waiting to see the movie, there you go.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I won't do it here.
You said the butler did it?
I think
The butler did it.
I think, you know what? I think Sleeping with the Enemy is probably old enough to know that she dies at the end. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I love, so actually that's funny because I love walking out of movies. This is one of my favorite things to do, walk out of movies and say something that didn't really happen as a spoiler. Like, oh man, you know what? I can't believe they let Chris Evans get his head chopped off at the end. That was so unexpected. It's a love story.
You've only been doing this my whole life, Debbie.
Oh man, well, and that goes into like running into signs. Oh,
pretend
my
running
God,
into
yeah.
signs.
You know what? I have a serious malfunction. Okay, and so Jen, for some insane reason, you listened to our show and you still agreed to be on it.
It was questionable.
She signed a waiver. You weren't privy to it.
Everyone has to, Ted. Everyone has to. Okay, so I don't want to make you answer anything, but do you actually have a real favorite podcast?
Now, I mean, know by the look on your face that you're expecting me to say this one. But there's actually one that I really listen to more that I love most.
What would that be?
So it's super interesting. It's a podcast about cheese. And the hosts, yeah, I know, right? The hosts are so funny, and I've learned so much about cheese. It's like literally given me meaning to my life.
I know. It's like they're talking about cheese, but what they're really talking about is life.
Yes, Jackie, you get it. The last episode where they talked about Brie and then had Brie Larson on.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
so
I know.
good.
I agree. It changed my life.
It's cheese.
I'm flummoxed.
We can't get enough.
I know, but Matt, don't you know that it's just about so much more than cheese? It's like a metaphor for life.
Okay, so listen, for anyone who's going to be on the show, and this goes for, listen, you have to listen to, what is it, show 32? So every person who's ever going to be a guest, listen to this now because I'm telling you right now, I am banning all talk of cheese, cheese curds, cheese food products, cutting the cheese, forever.
What about poutine? That stuff's pretty good.
Ted, poutine?
Poutine, I said it wrong.
How do you say everything
but you know what
wrong?
But you know what I meant, though. But you know what I meant.
How do
I've only eaten it one time.
And you eaten it one time and you said it wrong.
From a food truck in Montreal, and it was so good. And then I had it in. Didn't we have some in Minnesota the one time?
We had some in Minnesota.
And it wasn't that good.
It wasn't?
Well, compared to the one in Canada.
Okay,
If
so
I had never eaten it before, it would have been good. But since I already had what I thought was the gold standard,
I don't know, man. I was pretty stewed in Minnesota. I feel like everything tasted good then, man.
Oh, remind me to tell the story about the Notre Dame bar we were at, because that was pretty funny.
No, that is a terrible, terrible story, and you're never going to tell that. Okay, Jen, let's get to you, because you are a life coach, and I know probably everybody listening right now has the same question I do. What does a life coach do?
It's a really great question, and people often confuse it with the difference between therapy and life coaching. So essentially, a life coach partners with an individual who's coming to them to really work on themselves. So typically it can cover things like relationships, it could cover wellness, which is often like what I cover, it can cover boundary setting. So, and what we do is essentially, and the way I think is that everybody's an expert in themselves, and then I come in to help partner with them to address the things that are getting in their way from living to their potential. And so for everyone, it's really individualized and personalized. And I'll just pause there to see if you have more questions.
No, I love that. So setting boundaries, is that like Ted, when I go to the bathroom, Ted always wants to go into the bathroom with me. Is that a boundary I need to set? Because I feel like it's really weird. Like, he doesn't always have to pee when I have to pee.
Maybe he's coming in to help, like, wipe you or something.
Oh, Ted!
I just want to make sure you're not incontinent. That's all.
Wait, incontinent?
That's
No,
so
no,
different
Ted,
than wiping.
Ted, I live in America.
Intercontinental, is that, or that? Maybe I'm saying that wrong too.
That would be, God, wouldn't that be terrifying if you? I know women go into the bathroom together, and I still don't get that. But
We
I would.
talk.
And you have urinals. You're literally next to the person next to you.
Yeah, you know what?
We have, like, stalls.
Right.
Yeah, and we go in and we're like, oh my God, you see what just happened?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Did you see that guy? He followed that other guy into. I think he's gonna wipe his butt.
That's exactly what we talked about.
Oh man. Okay, so Ted, listen. If there's a girl and you want to talk about her, then go into the bathroom with me and we'll talk. Other than that, stay seated when I get up. Do you understand?
I knew that's the reason the women went to the bathroom together in pairs.
Boundaries.
I knew it was a conspiracy. So.
It's
And
not
I'm sure whatever they're saying is never anything good.
Okay, so Jen, when you're helping people, there's probably got to be like a general thing, more of a common thread that people want help with. What's like the most common thing people want help with?
I would say being happy is probably one of the most common things, and feeling better.
Really? You know what? It's funny. I wake up every day and I'm pretty darn happy, right? And I'm kind of entertaining myself because I'm an idiot, But really, people are that unhappy?
I think it's just that they get stuck in the I'm not good enough, or the comparison game, or the jealousy. And when they get stuck in those thoughts and they're looking outside themselves, it's really easy to not be happy, to feel like there's something wrong with me, that I'm broken, that there's something that needs to be fixed. And so they're seeking and searching.
I was reading on your blog that you said something about you don't have to be perfect and have some self-compassion. That really struck me.
Yeah, we can't hate ourselves into change. We can't hate ourselves into change. And so, part of what happens is, with any kind of journey is, I think people try to be perfect. They try to do it exceptionally well. But what happens is, when they get into that all or nothing sort of mindset, that black and white thinking, then they can't get up as quickly. And so then it just perseverates the problem. And when we lean in with curiosity, when we lean in with compassion, then whenever we get tripped up, then from there we can recover, we can learn from it, and we can address and to create more self-awareness and change the things that we really want to change to help ourselves to get to where we want to go.
Powerful. I love it.
That is really
I
cool.
love it.
Okay, so one of the things you mentioned on your website is people feel like they need to conform into what's normal, right? And that seems kind of weird. And you're saying like it's counterproductive to being healthy. So how do I like here's the thing, if I want to be, if I want to think like everybody's doing this, especially if I feel like younger people have this thing where if they don't fit in and they don't like what other people like and they don't do that, so how do I break out of something like that? Like how do I get out of like, I just want to do my thing,
It's huge because there's such cultural conditioning and societal expectations about how things should look, how people should be. And there is a genuine need, and as far as, as humans, to connect and to belong. And what happens is people abandon themselves. They abandon their truth. They conform to the rules that are set by the other people in their life, or maybe they're passed down from generations. And so inevitably, people suffer. And so how do you break free from that? I think it's who you support yourself with, who you surround yourself with, and really getting to know and being really grounded in who you are.
So you're saying get away from Ted as fast as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I always thought you were toxic too, by the way. That was my insight.
That is exactly the opposite of what is happening here. You know what? This is the perfect time right now because listen, I think, Jen, if you don't mind, Ted does his thing, and you're helping people all the time. Ted does his thing. He helps people. He gives tips for 20s. Have you heard that on the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Teddy, you know what? I thought, we find the perfect time for this, but I feel like right now you need to prove to Jen that you are positive, you're not conforming, that you're able to help people also.
Worthy of giving advice.
Yeah.
But if I'm proving something to someone, does that make me keeping up with the Joneses? Then I'm actually.
Ooh, good point.
No, Ted, you're here to help.
He just mind coached you.
Yeah, I know, man. Dude, you listen, the worst day of your life is Ted gets in your head. That is the worst. Listen to me right now. If anybody's going, whoa, Ted, that was deep, you're in a bad place where I'm at. You're in a really bad place.
Just like if I'm the best hitter on the softball team, you got a bad.
Okay. Yes. Okay,
Exactly.
so Teddy, hold on a second. Let me see your piece of paper with your tips. Let me see it.
You want to see it?
Yes. Did you type that out? Is that typed out?
It's typed.
Can I show it to you after I?
Ted, hold on a second. That's an uncomfortable phrase. No, you cannot show it to me after. No chance. Okay, so folks, this is so bizarre to me. This is the second time in 32 shows that Ted has typed something up. So I have to tell you right now, I'm a little bit freaked out.
Are you a little worried it's the same thing as last time?
Oh, man. Hold on a second. Wait, I already have one of these. I can just say that.
I'm making a concentrated effort to say different stuff.
Okay? No, and I texted Teddy. I said, Teddy, we're going to have a life coach on. She's going to be here to help. She's going to have lots of great ideas. You need to really come out with your A game.
Actually, you didn't say that.
I said all of that, Ted.
You might have hinted it strongly, but you didn't actually say it.
Okay, so this is beautiful. So Teddy and I
See,
said,
there we go. We're talking about communication. Here's where communication gets broken down and where dynamics in relationships gets all messed up.
Right? You're not hinting strongly enough.
Be transparent. Be
Talk
direct.
to me like I'm 5 years old.
okay,
Don't beat around the bush.
Ted, your tips suck and they make me sad. Okay, listen.
Ted gets good reviews on his tips, though.
He
I know.
does.
Probably,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
probably not all of them. There's been a few, questionable.
No,
some
Ted.
some repeats,
Ted, I know you've never been on any of our social media, but your tips for 20s are people love them. They absolutely go crazy for them. We have so many comments and so many things and so many people saying, "Oh man, this is the best one yet," and they keep doing that. They keep saying, "This is the best one. This is the best one." So no pressure now.
Well, we got nowhere to go but down, so here it is.
Okay, yeah, and Teddy, no song this week.
I can see that.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
in deference to John,
That's okay, yeah.
right? Because he's in the Arctic Circle.
We're all in a little mourning that he's left.
Wait, is the
Yeah.
Arctic Circle north and the South Pole? I never knew that. Arctic is north and South Pole is south, right? I always forget those two.
I don't know.
South Pole is north.
Oh, okay,
Hey,
close
hey,
enough.
Ted, he's not on the show anymore, so he's dead to me. So yeah, I don't really care. No.
Yeah, he's persona non grata for sure.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, John. If you're listening, you're
Yeah,
dead
he's
to
not. He's not.
me. Yeah. No. Okay, so Teddy, give us your Ted's tips for 20s.
So actually, I told my daughter this a long time ago, and this kind of alludes to this. So I told her, I said, here's what you want to do when you go to school. I said, you want to start off kind of slow, purposely, assuming you know the material, and just kind of not fudge it or sandbag it, but don't do the best you can right away, even if you could, because teachers like to see you trend up. So get incrementally better as the year goes on, and that way the teacher feels they have a sense of accomplishment, that they actually taught you something, and they're inclined to give you a better grade. But if you go balls to the wall right away and get hundreds, and then by the time the end of the semester comes or whatever class you're taking, and the final exam's usually going to be harder than the beginning,
Right.
and you kind of do less and you're trending down, the teacher subjectively will punish you for that.
So you did not tell your daughter not to go balls to the wall.
I didn't
right?
use that expression.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that seems kind of weird.
So
to me.
Jen, how do you feel about this advice?
I mean, I think you're using some kind of psychological tactic on her, maybe from like the military days or something.
No.
But I don't know. Are you stunting her potential and what she thinks she's capable of?
No, I just basically, that's a good one. No, that's a good one. So, but no, I basically told her that just almost like a survival mechanism, because I mean, she's obviously smarter than me. And, so I just basically said, you want to have every advantage you can. And, you don't know, because teachers, they're human too. And you don't know.
No, we're not.
Oh,
No, as a teacher, Ted, I can tell you right now, I'm not human.
the first time I saw a teacher
So-
outside of school, like in an actual public setting, I hyperventilated because I didn't think they were real people. I thought they were robots, who just they Chuck E. Cheese. robots who do
They
this.
think you live at the school.
Yeah, like you just stand there, and when the lights turn off, you just stay there, and you just go, or you just power down like Blade Runner.
So you want to hear a funny story? So my first gig, I lived right by where I taught, right? This is my favorite story of all time. So I had this kid in my class, and man, he was such a jerk, man. He was seventh grade. I think he'd been in seventh grade about 4 or 5 years.
And you know what? He's going to be a jerk when he's an adult too. He's just getting a lot of practice.
Listen, he was just such a turd, man, this whole time, right? So I'm in the neighborhood, right? So I walk into a wow, this is in the Wayback Machine when I first started, a video rental store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like a Blockbuster
Yeah.
before that even.
Yeah, if you don't remember what a video rental store is, then you can just go to hell, okay? But yeah, so this kid's in there with all of his friends, right? And I'm just like, oh man, I go, hey, teacher revenge, right? So I walk up to him, I go, hey man, I'm just gonna pretend to name this kid, okay? I said, hey Arturo, hey man, I go, thanks for letting me know that other kid is the one that did the graffiti and stuff.
Stop it.
And I turned him in, and he's
Nice.
gonna get suspended,
Made
man.
him a snitch. I like that in front of his friends. Good
right,
work.
right. And I go, hey man, hey, secrets between me and you. And then, right, and I could see his buddies over there. I go, just go, oh, are those your friends? Sorry. And I just turn and walk away.
That's a good one.
Oh, you were that guy.
Yes. Hey, listen to me. I got my revenge, man. It's all about revenge.
You just had him commit social suicide in front of his friends. Are nice. I like that.
Yeah, and you know what? About 5 years later, he was riding around on his bike. So this is like, what, an 18, 20-year-old kid riding around on his little BMX bike. And yeah, he had not gotten better.
Well, he's 20 years old. He still has a BMX bike, like the Mongoose bike when we were like
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
I think
So
Jen's trying to decide if she's going to take her headphones off and leave.
Sorry.
No, I actually want to go back to the advice that you gave your daughter because what occurred to me, and I don't know if you've heard this before, is that we shouldn't be dimming our lights to protect other people. That you really giving her the permission to fully be herself and the full expression of herself, and to not worry what other people think, because then it's only going to cap her potential, and it doesn't really matter what they think anyway.
It was sort of a version of free-range parenting, but just on a lesser scale. Anyway, that's not actually the tip, though. This is the tip.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll make this quick, I'll make this quick. So, here's the tip. Here's the tip, guys.
All right, got it.
Show enough skill and power to impress people, but never let people see you hit the edge of your limits. Speculation as to your limits arouses far greater admiration than accurate knowledge of your limits.
This really is inside of
Hold on a second.
fortune cookie.
Hold on a second. Listen, everybody here, and Jen has literally probably heard a couple of shows. She knows you just copied that from the internet.
Never hit the edge of your limits in the presence of other people.
You
Do
just-
so only in private.
You're
If you
repeating.
If you could find this Joe Biden for plagiarism, good luck.
What?
If you could find this on the
So
internet.
you really came up with that all on your own?
I took a smorgasbord of nuggets here and there and put it together in a stew that I made all to my own. Yes.
Oh man.
But then you're holding back your greatness, and everybody has their own unique gift that they can offer, and so if they hide their potential,
Not hide it, just don't show it all at once.
No, you said only do it in private.
right?
Ted, you know what that sounds
Remember
like, right?
Jurassic Park? When the guy goes to the dinosaur park and he's Jeff Goldblum and he's criticizing the owner of the dinosaur park, he goes, "There's no dinosaurs here," and he's kind of laughing at him. And then the electric fence goes down, and then the T-Rex comes out at night. Yeah, and everyone was scared shitless. Yeah, that's
so
what I'm talking about.
titrate it and hold a little back, and
Yeah.
So Ted, your philosophy
just
of
glimmer 'em.
life,
Just
your
glimmer 'em.
philosophy of life is to not do anything, and then to attack and kill everyone that you see. This is that seems like a terrible advice, Ted.
That was actually a really
you don't seem trustworthy.
That was a harsh translation. But
No, Ted is.
Here, get your pen and start writing a new tip. You
No,
can
no,
do
no,
that.
no, no, no.
not for today. That tip's over. This
Yeah,
tip's
no,
over.
Ted, pay attention to what's going on. Okay. Jesus.
It was insightful.
No, it was actually terrifying. Okay, so Jen, you started this, right? And how long have you been doing this?
I've been practicing as a coach for about 11 years now.
Okay, so if you had to go back and start all over again doing your coaching, what would be something different that you would do?
That's a great question. What would I do differently?
Oh,
You got way better questions than me.
That's because I'm smarter than you, Ted. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if I would do anything necessarily differently, because I feel like the path, and this is going to be a very coach thing to say, like the wisdom, right? The path that got laid out is what was supposed to happen. So all the things, all the crap that has happened in my life, all the pain, all the happiness, all the joy, all the adventures. So I don't know if I would go back and do anything differently. Maybe just start sooner, or maybe be less afraid to take risks in my business.
See, that's a hard thing, right? Doing something different is probably the hardest thing that people do, right?
For sure.
So you talk about getting into routines, right? Like people have to set routines and everything. I mean, it seems like starting a routine would be very, very hard to do, right? Because the easiest thing to do is to do something for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and then stop. How do you get people to set a routine and stay on it? Because that seems really tough.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, for everybody, the strategy is going to be a little bit different, but one of the top strategies that I use is, number one, finding something that you have buy-in into, something that you would enjoy, that you would be inspired by, that is of value and ties back to your values. And then from there, if we're talking about fitness, let's say it's a fitness routine. It's not focusing on the intensity or what it is, but just simply moving your body and building a streak. And the idea is that when you take the constraints off, I have to do it for this long, and it has to look like this, and I have to work at this intensity, and you just focus on the actual practice of doing it, it becomes integrated into part of who you are. And as you build that streak, the motivation comes from not wanting to break the streak.
Okay, I like that, because one of the things you said is movement is medicine. Right?
For sure.
So how important is physical health to mental health? I mean, can you be strong mentally and not be strong physically? Is that possible even?
I would imagine so, but it would tax you if you weren't doing well physically. I would imagine that over time that would tax you mentally.
Well, I think physical health can be two different things too. If you're talking about being fit,
right,
as opposed to you can be healthy even if you're not someone who works out a lot.
Right, or someone who's physically has like a chronic condition or something like that,
right.
And they're not managing it. I mean, that would take its toll. I would think mentally, or I mean, I do know, because I work with people with chronic conditions, it does take its toll mentally. So you do need some mental resilience, though.
So what would you say to somebody like who doesn't really do anything to help themselves physically? How would you get them started? Okay, so somebody who doesn't work out, doesn't do anything, because here's the weird thing. It's hard for me to go an entire day without working out. Right? And that's just my mindset. Like if I spend a day and I don't work out, if I don't do something physical, I go golfing or I do whatever it is I do, if I don't do it, I feel shitty. Like I just feel like, oh man, I can't believe I like today. I did some stuff, I did some work, I had all this stuff to do, and I still found time to work out. And I was like, I got to do this because I'm not going to be sharp mentally. How do you get somebody started doing that?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And essentially you meet a person where they're at. So you can lay out, they can have a vision of where they want to go, but where they're starting in that moment is with the identity that they have in that moment. And sometimes it's hard for people to see their future self or to identify with themselves as a person who's going to move their body every day. And with anything that you're doing that's new, there is a hurdle. There's pain that comes with the growth process. So like with fitness, for example, somebody who's just getting started is maybe self-conscious, maybe is afraid that they're going to be really sore, or they're going to get injured, or they don't have the competency or the confidence to do it. So essentially, it's just being really curious, asking them a lot of questions to kind of just get a sense of what do they want to do? How do they like to move their body? Do they remember a time? If they say, like, no, there's nothing I like to do to move my body, do you remember a time in your life when movement was fun? And oftentimes I'll take the E word, the exercise word, out of the conversation, because when people think about it as movement, when people think about it as activity, it lowers the threshold, it lowers that barrier to entry. And then we start with, what would you like to do? And
like
go
what's
from there.
fun for you?
What would be fun for you? Yeah.
Wow, that is good. Ted, so see, here's my biggest thing. So Teddy talks about working out all the time, right?
I used to work out a long time ago.
See, yeah.
A long time ago.
So what do I do? Like, can I help him stop being Ted and start working out? Because every day he talks about working out.
I am going to join the gym right after softball season, by the way.
Okay, so
Planet Fitness.
So here's the funny
Well, you're
part.
playing softball, so
times
that's
Exactly.
something.
I am so glad you said that. He has said that for the last 7 years.
No, this time
that
I'm
as
gonna
soon
do
as
it.
softball is
I'm
over,
gonna
he's
do
going to
it.
join the
I'm
gym.
gonna do it.
So how is there something that you could say to him to help him out right now? Like, what's his barrier, do you think? That his thing is like if he finishes something, that's when he's going to start doing something else.
Well, it's a really great question. So let me just clarify, I'm not a mind reader. So I can't identify his barrier without asking him.
Hold on, I'm thinking about number
Hold on.
3, 1 in 10, what is it? 1 in 10.
Yeah.
7.
8, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were close. You were close.
Hold on a second. Jen, the last thing you want to do is read Ted's mind, okay? Listen, I have been part of it, and it is terrifying and scary, okay? No, in this thing. Okay, so let me ask you this. What's the youngest client you've had?
You're
Well,
taking all my good questions. I literally have to cross off everything because you're
There's no way that was one of your questions.
No, I was actually going to ask, what's the age range of your clients, the average age range?
Now in the work that I do today, yeah, so the age range right now is probably mid-20s to about 65.
Okay.
Mostly in the range of 30s to mid-50s.
Wow, that is
Men
Yeah,
and women.
That's a large demographic. Yeah, and then my next question is, do you actually have like a physical office space, or do you do home visits? Do you do it through the internet, or like or Zoom meetings? Like, what's like your main way of communicating with your clients?
Yeah, great question. All virtual.
Okay.
All
great.
virtual. And that is also designed by choice because being a coach and in this space, I recognize how important that my lifestyle is to me, my own personal happiness. And so being able to be location independent and free in that way, like I am going on a trip coming up and I can work from anywhere. And so for me, that's my value. And so I do it all virtually.
Oh, that's great. And my last question, I'm sorry, my last question before,
Just one.
Okay,
Because I might
Bachelorette number 2.
because I might
Ted,
never get a word in.
Ted, you have a question
I
for
have a
Bachelorette
question
number
after
2?
Ted,
Okay.
so back to the trips.
Do you have any life coaches or motivational speakers you admire, kind of like a Tony Robbins, a Joel Osteen, or like a Dr. Phil that you kind of, I wouldn't say you model yourself after, but that you kind of watch, like if you had to watch,
So
someone.
wait, Teddy, are you saying Tony Robbins genius or weird giant freak? That's what he
Well,
wants.
he does have giantism, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean he's a bad person. It's just, but actually there are studies that show people who are physically bigger than everybody, people have a tendency to look up to them. Like for example, Abraham Lincoln was 6'4" in an era where everybody was like 5'5". So when he showed up, it's just like you automatically. No, I'm serious. George Washington was like 6'2".
It's just the amount of times you've talked about it.
George Washington was like 6'2", so I mean, when he showed up, and everybody's like 5'3", I mean, you just automatically give the guy respect, because you don't see anybody that tall anymore. Okay, I'm done. So
Well,
Okay, so
Matt's
mentors,
son in the
people
back, is
you.
that
Sorry. So yeah, do you have? I mean, are there people that you look up to, people that you've kind of emulated?
I mean, I just think I'm it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
that's the right answer, by the way. That's the right answer.
No, I'm just kidding. So it's a funny question. So yes, movement is medicine for me. And there was a day that I do the Peloton app, and I was on the treadmill, and we were like running up this hill, and they said, who are you picturing at the top? So the people that I aspire to be like, whose careers, who motivate me, that really resonate, like Mel Robbins was at the top of that hill, Brene Brown was at the top of that hill. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Any of these people?
I'm actually not too
Wait,
familiar with
which
them, so.
which one of them were professional basketball players, and which one of them set home run records? I'm sorry, I didn't miss that.
Jackie, do you know these people?
I don't, but I
Glennon
wish I
Doyle. Glennon Doyle. Yes,
Oh,
right?
okay, we got some people in the audience that know these people. Okay, so and these are people that did what? I mean, just generally.
They're women who are thought leaders in not the psychological space, but like the self-development, the personal development space. Brene Brown is a social worker and a researcher. I'm a therapist by original training, and so I have my master's in social work. She studies shame and vulnerability and compassion, the gifts of imperfection. Glennon Doyle is just real, and Mel Robbins is just real, and they're talking about real things that come up in people's minds, and they put it out there in really brave, courageous ways to pull out pain points and normalize it and give people the opportunity. By them being more of themselves, it encourages, invites other people to be more of themselves as well.
because they put themselves out there.
And they
were-
talk about tough
yeah.
stuff, and they show themselves in vulnerable ways. And just like how you're, saying things that are on the cuff, and you're not like worried what other people are thinking, they do that in this space, and they call things out that people are really, really vulnerable about and don't want to share with others, and they make those conversations that people can then have and embrace those parts of themselves that maybe they have shame around or don't want to talk about.
So Jen, I know we're not supposed to talk about the show before the show, but a little bit, we were getting to know each other before the show, and you talked about the thought of getting a tattoo, and I thought about that for a long time. Our parents were both, had tattoos and stuff, and we were never into that. But my daughter and I, we really wanted to get a tattoo, and we decided finally, and so we got this tattoo, and we put it where we could see it all the time. But it's Brave in Morse code, so nobody knows what it says. But when I'm feeling a certain way, I can look at it. And so that we decided together that we were going to do that, so that it would remind us to be brave. So when at those times when you say, I'm not going to do it, I can't do it, I'm not good enough to do that, like, okay, maybe I am.
And I love that you said
or
that.
I am.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. And I love that you said that, because what you're talking about is a visual prompt that is a really good mindset trick. So I'm wearing a bracelet that says love right now. I'm wearing a bracelet that says fearless. Yes, it's not a tattoo. People can use their lock screen on their phone to remind them of a mantra or something that they want to remember that's going to pull them out of a place when they're going through a hard time. So in that moment when you're not feeling courageous and you're not feeling brave, you look down at your wrist and immediately you step into that. So people can create those visual cues. I have Post-it notes that remind me of things by my computer. How do I show up more with love today? Ted's really bored.
No, I'm listening. I look like this way all the time.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. So Jen is looking at Ted's face, and here's the thing you can't be fooled by. There is nothing on Ted's face that gives away what he is thinking, because that is the look he always has.
Is that a poker face?
Have you ever seen a jaguar?
Like the car or the animal?
No, the animal. So a
Oh,
jaguar.
I thought you meant the football player.
A jaguar has no facial expression, so you don't know. You can't tell if it's angry or sad. It's just. And oh, by the way, I don't think they meow. I think they're one of the big cats that don't meow. So yeah. So there was a zookeeper that got attacked by a jaguar. They thought the jaguar was their buddy because they kept feeding it. They were singing "Kumbaya" together. Then the jaguar ripped its arms off because it's a jaguar. It's a wild animal.
And it didn't meow while it was doing it.
Dude, I love that.
Actually, I got a funny tattoo story real quick. I don't have any tattoos myself, but I was listening to a comic one time, and this was funny. So some guy, I guess it was a rage back in the early 2000s, first guys were getting the tribal armband tattoo. That was like a big thing. And then the guys would get women too, Japanese lettering with their name on it. So one guy got what he thought was his name, but it was actually his name was Tom, but it actually meant bitch dog in Japanese. So be careful. I'm just saying, if you get a tattoo, just make sure it's translated 5 times in a different language, like Latin or Sanskrit or whatever. Yeah, so just,
Yeah,
Morse code.
I am never getting a tattoo. There is nothing that I want to put on me
can I see that tattoo?
forever
Yeah.
that would make any sense.
Oh, that says I want a cup of coffee. That's what it says. Sorry.
Okay, and it's pointing to the person that should get me coffee.
I'm sorry.
All right. So Jen, when you're talking to people and you're doing your thing, right? What are some of the habits that people need to break? What do you like when you see all the different habits and the things that people talk to you about? What are some of the things that you like that stand out to you? That you're like, hey man, these are things that people really need to not do because they're very detrimental to like living a good quality life.
That's a good question too. So if someone's coming to me in the wellness space and they're looking to feel better, be healthier, then it looks like, we might talk about, and everybody's on a continuum. So it might be like related to not eating vegetables and incorporating more of those, or maybe eating less fried foods. And I'll just caveat here. I don't believe that anything is off limits. It's really about strategizing. I want people to really enjoy the things that they eat. So when I'm talking about food, I'm not putting certain foods in good, bad category, but we want to really amplify the water. We want to decrease the soda. We maybe want, depending on the alcohol intake, we might look at incorporating more veggies, more lean proteins, exercise, movement, strength training, all the things.
But honestly, though, I think the alcohol is okay. And I'm not just saying that.
I think so.
I'm not just saying that because I am now. I think people would consider me like a hardcore alcoholic. Yeah. What I'm saying is.
You haven't been diagnosed with that. It's just
It's a self-diagnosis,
Jen?
Ted. I'm almost 100% sure, Ted, that if you are an alcoholic, I'm a 10 times alcoholic. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Okay, I feel better now.
You should not feel better about that. Okay, Jen, do you do anything with companies or organizations, with groups? Do they ask you to come in and do things?
I've done some speaking before. back in the past, and also in like the corporate wellness space. I've done that as well. I actually worked in a corporate role that I was in as a coach. I was out on the East Coast working with the gas and electric company in New Jersey, all utility workers, which was really interesting.
You were
In
hold
Jersey.
on. I know. It's exactly what I'm thinking. Here's what I picture. I picture everybody from the Jersey Shore show. I picture that being Jersey.
Yeah.
Is it that bad, or are people normal in New Jersey or no?
Well, if people are listening from New Jersey, I'm not going to say they're not. No.
We have a
but-
ton of listeners in New Jersey.
I love New Jersey.
I really liked it there. I did. I lived in downtown Jersey City, and for me, being right by Manhattan and right on the water there, loved it. The people were nice. I mean, they didn't smile at you on the Hudson River like they do. Well, now they don't really on the lakefront here. But, I was expecting people to smile at you, and it's a little bit different out there.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I noticed. So here in Midwest, and when you go out east, people aren't as friendly. When you go out west, people are way friendlier.
Or the South.
Yeah,
South.
they're just way friendlier.
Well, it's just a slower.
Well,
you can almost feel it's like a slower paced lifestyle.
I feel like in the South, they're literally victimized. Like they're looking at you like, that fella right there, he's a victim. He's a victim right there. Yeah.
He's from out of town.
You must be on the Appalachian Trail or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty. Listen, if you have never been, go to Dollywood. If you have never been to Dollywood, if you've never been down south and you have never gone to Dollywood, it's like a real amusement park, but way more hillbilly. It's so much fun. Okay, so if you do stuff online, do you get clients from all over the world?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I don't want to dismiss anybody from anywhere else, but America's better, right? I mean, we're better.
I don't know that I would agree with that these days, but...
What? No, we have less problems. Aren't we normalier?
No, you're thinking of Denmark or Sweden. Those people are really happier than they need to be.
I don't understand that. They do happiness things, right? It's like this country's the happiest country, this country's the least happiest country. How do they know that? I mean, are they just calling people like, "Are you happy?" You know what? I'm a little upset right now. I'm just not super happy right now. All right, they're very unhappy there.
Yeah, well, just like they do studies here, like say this is the poorest state in the country, this is the richest state, this is the healthiest state. This
Yeah,
is
but
the
that's Ted. Rich is the
Those
poorest.
are quantifiable.
Yeah.
But poorest, for example, Vermont, because it's outdoorsy, a lot of people are exercising. Poorest state, or just like unhealthy
Wait,
state.
are you calling out? Listen, we have a ton of fans in Vermont. Are you calling them all poor?
No, I'm saying they're the healthiest state. Vermont is I think voted a few years ago as the healthiest state in terms of people like in overall as the population are physically fit versus people in say Mississippi who are not physically as fit because they don't have access to resources. Maybe they eat poorly due to
and this is
their
why we're
economic
missing
situation.
Johnny right now because he would Google this and tell us right now if this was true.
Fact check it.
Well, you know what? There is no more Johnny.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. Johnny.
Well, actually, speaking of travel, though, like I was reading on your blog that you talked about Eat, Pray, Love, which is one of my favorite books, and you traveled alone for 6 months,
Not quite.
right? Or not 6 months? A long time. That's, for a woman, it seems unfathomable. And I was curious how you feel about that, what you experienced when you did that.
Yeah, so I would say that the experience of going to India was the turning point in my life for me being on the trajectory of what I'm doing now. So you might have seen this too. I met Elizabeth Gilbert. I went to the premiere of the movie of Eat, Pray, Love. One of my friends does press junkets for movies, and she was getting married in New York, and I called her. My friend Jill is famous at this point because I've told this story so much. And I said, they're doing the premiere of the movie the week of your wedding. And so we went and I asked Elizabeth Gilbert, like, how did you decide where you went in India? And so she gave me a book, and I was miserable in the job that I was in. And I don't think, and my mom used to say to me all the time, Jen, or Jennifer probably, she said, you have all these ideas. You have
I was
all
always
these
Jacqueline.
ideas, right?
And hey, Jen, just real quick, for those of us who don't know, because I've heard of that book, that movie, could you just what's the premise of that movie or that book? What's like the theme?
Yeah, it's a little cliche, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So Elizabeth Gilbert is, I think at the time she was in her 30s, she was married, and she realized that this wasn't the life that she wanted, and she was miserable. And so she filed for divorce and then went for a year to first Italy and then India and then Bali. And so Eat is Italy,
Sure.
Pray is India, and Love is Bali.
Bali
I did
Love,
not.
huh? Yeah,
Listen,
see.
I had no idea what any of that was. That is so wild.
See, I mean, I have to get. I mean, I've heard of that movie. I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
it, but I didn't know. I wasn't sure the premise. And she went alone. I'm assuming, right?
So she went alone
Yeah.
and she committed to not getting into any relationships with anybody. And I'm not going to give the book and
Yeah.
her adventure
Spoiler alert.
away.
Wait, does she get her head cut off at the end?
She does. She does.
It must be Bali because that's when the homing beacon stopped. We lost track of it.
And the world falls apart. So
Jen walked out of the movie and she was like, yeah, she gets her head cut off.
okay, so you spend, how long were you away for? How long did you travel?
Yeah, so in 2011, I went for a month to India. I studied yoga at an ashram there, like bucket showers. We had to buy toilet paper, like the whole to do, lots of yoga, meditation, all the things. And then I flew from India to meet a friend in Kenya, and my friend and I, we climbed Mount Kenya, and so I was gone about 5 weeks, and I risked losing, at the time I was a school social worker at a therapeutic day school for teenagers who had to be tuitioned out because they had too many needs emotionally for what their school could provide. And so I left, and I might not have had a job when I came back, and so that time I was gone for 5 weeks, and then I went to Bali in 2018, and I was there for a month. Well.
That is pretty cool because, I mean, you're risking, I mean, that's your, like, existence, right? That's your money.
Yeah.
That's your job. If you don't have that job, you don't have anything. That's a pretty big step. That's really cool.
So what did you learn spending that time with yourself?
I have a lot of noise in my head. What did I learn? I mean, to me, making the choice to take a risk like that when my family looked at me like, why are you going to India? I mean, I think it was more coming from a place of concern than judgment. But when I made that choice...
She's looking at her mom is here, and she's looking at her folks right now going, no, it was okay. It worked out. I didn't get killed.
I mean, I went, so I had just turned 30 at the time. And, most people, most women that I was around were conditioned to, you're supposed to get married and you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. Well, my heart, my desire wasn't in that. And I used to feel really bad about that. And so I guess what I've learned along the way is to really be proud of who I am and to take those risks. And one of the biggest things I think spiritually that happened is just being able to connect and trust that things are going to work out. Regardless of what's happening, whether there is pain in your life, to stay committed to the process, to keep working on yourself, and that you need the darkness to see the light, and the better we can get at seeing in the dark, the easier it will be to get to the light to move forward and pursue what we want to pursue.
I cannot wait to re-listen to this whole podcast because I need to be taking notes right now.
Well,
There's
it
so many
probably gives you
things.
some perspective, like, for example, when you're like India, like, just no offense, it's like parts of it are a third world country, then you come back here and we appreciate the amenities that we have, and, we complain about the small things where, people in these parts of the world have bigger problems, like, just drinking clean water, where we're worried about, like, you're worried about your golf swing, you're worried about your golf swing.
Oh, okay, so
You're
I've had a
worried
couple.
about your
I'm worried- I'm worried about going
listen,
3 for 3
let's be
tonight.
honest. The last couple of weeks, I've had a rough time at golf. Thanks, Ted. Thanks for throwing that out there.
wow.
You just put a towel under your arm and just swing.
But you know what? This talk with Jen has definitely changed it. So yeah, just be
Your
ready to
golf
get your ass
swing?
kicked. Yeah.
See, I'm that good.
Right?
Yes.
I could just change your golf swing by osmosis, like just by being here.
No. You know what I'm thinking is I'm thinking that I'm too focused on what is happening at that exact second, and I'm not just letting I'm just like, I'm on a golf course. I'm enjoying myself. I'm doing this thing. And I'm so focused on like this 1 second or 2 seconds when really the concept is I'm out there, I'm out there with friends.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I'm doing this thing that I really enjoy, so there can't be, why would there be any negative feelings? Like, I'm just going to let the positivity go through me.
Matt, you just literally answered one of the biggest things. Presence. Presence, being present to where you're at in this moment, noticing what's around you, taking it in, is one of, I don't want to use the word cure, but is one of the main tactics around happiness. Because when we're thinking about the future, when we're getting stuck in our head, when we're not right here in this moment, and we're all looking at it, right, then our happiness suffers because we're not here. And right in this moment, we're safe, we're okay, we're having a good time, we have abundance of all the things, and that's part of the key is presence.
I absolutely agree. So let me ask you this though, okay? So I'm gonna throw this out there, okay? So when you're sitting there with your friends and you're hanging out and you're having a couple of drinks and you're doing your thing, when they start talking, do you sometimes get into Jen, the professional mode? And do you have to stop where you're about to say, hey, you should, I'll just take another one, please? Do you find yourself doing that?
Not really, actually. I mean, you would think that I would, but I don't think I get wrapped up in their stuff. Now, if like conflict comes up, I might, be able to quickly cut through it and not get pulled in. But when I think when it comes to the people in your life, it's a little bit easier to get pulled in because you're a little bit more emotionally attached than it would be a client. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, so let me ask you this, and this is kind of interesting. Do you ever think about, like, when you're watching something on TV, right? You're like, and you see something that happened in the past, and you're just like, well, what would you say to that person to get them to not do the things that you're doing? And I'll give you an example, okay? I'll give you an example. Vladimir Putin, okay? You see all the things that he's doing, right? And you can kind of maybe see some kind of motivations as you're doing that. Would you give Vladimir Putin, like, do you feel like you have something where you can just say, Vladimir, stop doing this, and this is why? Like,
it's funny because because I ask questions. Like, my job is to be curious and to ask questions, and telling people what to do. Like, I might have wisdom around it and I might have a belief around it, but also I understand that human dynamics are so complicated and people come with, generational stuff and wounding, and that colors how they show up in the world. So there's a part of me that also has compassion for people who do things that are, would be considered bad or dangerous, because there's an understanding that there's a human. And so for me, I would just get curious. And I would really be like, okay, what is the motivation? What happened? What's going on for him? More than like just spewing out free advice.
Okay, so would your first question to him be, why shirtless on a horse? Would that be your? I mean, is
yes,
that anything? Okay. I feel like that would be
that's a legitimate question.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this, okay, and I'm going to throw out a couple of people, and I'm going to ask you if you think they would be good life coaches. Okay, and I want to start out with a couple of former presidents of the United States. Okay, I'm just going to say very, very local. Okay, Barack Obama. Do you feel like he would be a good life coach?
Oh my God, this is going to be so controversial. Would Barack Obama be a good life coach? I feel like he has potential. He seems to like be even keeled a lot of the time and listen.
He sits back and listens a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me throw the president that followed right after him. Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump, no, I'm just asking. I'm asking a question. Donald Trump, you think Donald Trump would be a good life coach? Does he seem like a quality listener and questionizer?
Definitely not, from my perspective.
Wait a minute, but
I'm not a polarizing person, and this is going to make me feel really like a polarizing person.
But wouldn't him constantly tweeting be able to help people, because he would constantly be tweeting to them what they could do better?
Yeah, except that's the thing. Life coaches don't tell people what to do. They ask questions, and they get to know people.
Okay. Last person, Ryan Reynolds. Would Ryan Reynolds be a good life coach?
I would love to just sit across from him and talk.
Yeah, you lost me at Ryan Reynolds.
The question is...
Is that the Deadpool guy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How do you not know this?
No, I said that. That's the Deadpool
Wait,
guy.
no, what's the Sandra Bullock movie with the Canada? Yes, The Proposal. Like Christmas in a Cup. Do you remember that part? When he gets her the coffee, like Christmas in a cup.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, I missed this one. Does he kill anybody in that one?
He chops her head off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Everyone always gets their head chopped
Here's
off.
a better question. Who do you think, who's like a famous actor, president, politician, who would make a good life coach?
Good question, Teddy.
Because you got dumb questions. I got good questions. I mean, most of your questions were good.
I got to mention Ryan Reynolds, so in your face.
You always say Ryan Reynolds every episode.
Actually,
Yes.
Ted had good questions
I know.
today.
It's like a man crush or something.
I know it's hard to
What's going on
accept
there?
for you, but he actually did.
You're making me feel bad.
Yeah.
Jen, we need to talk after the show. But Teddy's right. Who do you? I mean, do you feel like somebody that is has those qualities that we see on a regular basis, in media or whatever, that has those qualities that you think would be a good listener, somebody who'd ask good questions.
Like a Maya Angelou kind of person.
She's a poet.
Oprah,
Big deal.
Oprah, someone like that. She gives a lot of it. She had her own magazine. I think so there were some people who actually followed her advice from her Oprah magazine exclusively. They actually lived their life, whatever she said in that Oprah magazine.
Back in the day, Oprah was
Yeah.
the queen.
She gave away a free car during that show, and everyone would go ape shit. So
Didn't last week? Didn't we give away AK-47s?
Yeah.
AR-15s.
Check underneath
Yeah.
your table.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, if there's somebody out there like you thought, like who could be good at what they do, who could be good at what you do, right?
I have no idea why this is coming to me because I think, well, it's so random, but like George Clooney.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like he might be.
Because he's hot.
So you drive in a Lincoln next to him, and he'd just be having this conversation with you.
Over Casamigos. Isn't that
Right.
George Clooney?
What?
He does those Lincoln
The tequi-
commercials.
and the
No,
tequila's
that's Matthew
his.
That's
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Those
Oh,
are Lincoln commercials.
wrong person.
Yeah, and he tried to sue us for having him on the show.
for having
So
him on the
yeah,
show.
that doesn't work for me at all. Okay, so Jen, last thing. Okay, so I mentioned to you that Ted is running for president, right? Because I mean, we all kind of feel like if our choices are Joe Biden or Donald Trump for the next election, that Ted is actually viable. Okay, so if Teddy were running for president, okay, and it's kind of thinking about the life coaching thing, what kind of things would you what kind of things would you want him to think about as he's running for president to let people know and to make people feel better about themselves?
That's a great question. I'm going to take it a very woo direction. Is that okay?
I love that. I don't know what it means, but I love it.
Okay. So I would encourage you, you're going to probably have to learn a little bit about this and maybe get some coaching around this, to embody both your masculine energy, which is more like the directive, the protector, the action-oriented person, and also embody, and not, this isn't in like a gender way, the feminine energy, which is more go with the flow, more curiosity, more compassion, that curious listener, so that both you're listening, you're compassionate, and there's ease, and you make decisions about things based on that, and you don't just sit in the wooey flow of that feminine energy.
Okay.
Wow.
I sold you on that?
No, I like that. So it's a balance. It's a balance.
It's a
You
balance.
you can't rush
Right,
in there
the
and
yin
be
and
too
the yang.
hardcore.
I was just going to say,
Right.
can
Yeah.
you summarize that for us, Ted?
because
yin and the yang.
I think what you're trying to say, like you can't come in as a hard ass and just scream directives, because you're going to turn off a lot of people. So you have to have empathy and compassion, not necessarily to get them what you want to do, but just because it's the right thing to do.
From an authentic place.
Yeah, sure.
Right, from an authentic place. Not that you're trying to control or manipulate people, but it's coming because you have the heart and you care about people.
I just need to manipulate the what's it called, the electoral college, because you need 273 votes to win the presidency.
I am absolutely shocked at Ted's response. I cannot believe this. Listen to me. Every day that we do this...
You're on the staff, by the way.
Yes. So every day that we do this, right, and I think about Ted running for president because this is a real thing. We are doing this. When we hit enough money, we have to officially announce that Ted is running for president. I think it's $5,000, right? When we raised $5,000,
And
right?
how many signatures do you need? I didn't look into
I think it's just money. No, it's just
Oh,
a money
okay.
thing. Yeah, it's just a money thing that we can kind of put you out there. Every time I think about the choice of Joe Biden, right, falling off his bicycle,
He's not gonna run. He's not gonna run again.
and Donald Trump, I think, man, Ted makes sense. And you know what I have to stop doing? I have to stop drinking. I have to stop drinking because I feel like this is like really messing up my brain, man. Because every day I think it's just hanging out with you, you make a little more sense to me.
Today has been amazing. I mean, the questions, the summarizations, just very on point.
Yeah, I'm totally
so
freaked out.
So we need to start drinking more for next episode because we're going off track.
I don't know about you, but oh wait, hold on. The Anna Hesh rule. My water has been fantastic. I love my water, and I'm not buying any wigs on the way home. Thank you very much.
Yeah, poor Ann Hesh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, listen, we all make life choices. Jen just literally talked about how making life choices and doing these things, it affects everything that you do. So she made choices, and
Choices have consequences.
every choice has a consequence. Yeah, Jen, it has been fantastic having you on the show. Okay, from the second when I called Jen, I talked to her, right, and she actually agreed to be on the show, right. We talked for like a half hour, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she is perfect. She's very down to earth, and she knows exactly what she's talking about, and she is going to come on and like really help people understand what's going on, and you did that, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me. And you left out the part I was like, do I have to be funny? Because what I do can be really serious.
That was great. Thank you.
No, that was one of her things. She goes, do I have to be funny? And I said, no, I'll take care of that, and Ted will make everyone sad, so don't worry about it. All right, folks, thank you for listening. It was great. Jackie, thank you for sitting in.
Hold on. I just want to say thank you to Jen. And so the rule before the show is to not talk about the show beforehand. But Jen and I were talking, and I was trying so hard to stop talking to you. I'm like, I have to go grab my drink because I'm not supposed to be saying all these things before we get on the show.
That is my rule.
Right.
So when we have guests on, especially people that are new, like we don't know, like when we had Peter on with the guns, I'm upstairs in my house, right, and I'm doing my thing, and I come downstairs, and I remember John says, stop talking about the show. Matt doesn't like it when we talk about the show, because I just don't want people to talk about stuff, out when we're not on the show, and then ignore it or skip it because you've already talked about it.
Right, so then we've already had those conversations. So we had a great conversation beforehand, and the show was still awesome, even though we brought up some of those things.
I was not happy about that. Okay, so
Sorry.
Jen, this is the way we do it, and I won't make you go first, but everybody gets a last thing that they say, right? So Teddy, I'm going to let you go first because you were amazing today. I mean, I can't believe you were intelligent.
Oh, wow. I just broke my arm from patting myself on the back. But hey, thanks for being on the show. Ms. Jen Rose, appreciate it. Thanks for
Thank you.
allowing us to, interact with you, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, Jackie, go ahead. Your last words.
Pretty much just, it was really awesome to meet you, Jen, and really hope you maybe come back again.
You know what? I would love that. So, Jen, last thing you want to leave everybody with, the thoughts, what do you have?
So what's top of mind for me right now is gratitude. And it's gratitude, Ted, you were talking earlier about, different countries, that don't have what we have. And I think no matter where you are in life, there's something that you have. There's something that you have. And so when we look at things from that perspective, then we see more abundance. And when we see more abundance, we can ease our anxiety, we can ease our fear, we can operate more from kindness and love. So I'm just really grateful to be here in this space with you and for the invitation and the laughter. And thank you. I'm going to pass it back to you.
All right, that is awesome. So, Jen, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to thank you. You were, I had these wildly high expectations, and you have ridiculously exceeded them. So, thank you so much. All right, everybody, we are live at 1090 Brewing. Okay, don't forget that on Wednesdays they have trivia. They have fantastic beers. I was out the other day and I was drinking somewhere, because that's what I do. And I actually saw that they were serving 1090 beer there. So I thought that was pretty cool, okay? Don't forget that if you want to talk to Jen, it's thejenrose.com, okay? So get there if you want to talk to her, if you want to work with her. I mean, obviously you just figured out that she is fantastic, and she is definitely going to help you, okay? Enjoy what you're doing. Come on out. I know last week we had a giant packed house. This week, you know what? You know what I told Teddy? I was like, it's going to be like opening day, right? Opening day, everybody shows up. You got 50,000 people cheering on your baseball team. The second day, you have 4,000, right? I mean, it's just the way life works, unless you're the Yankees.
Unless you're the Yankees. I was going to say the same thing.
Right. So listen, come on out. If you got nothing to do on a Tuesday, come on out, because we are going to have awesome guests. You're going to get to learn a lot, and you're really going to get to enjoy yourself and laugh. So we'll see you guys all next week.